help me. This is going to be a clusterfuck. Because I've gathered up these items over months, and it's now time to sit here. And I wasn't sure, should I just do like these? Or, but that makes this now relevant, but then these are like the same size, so I should really talk about those. But then this comes in and like, all right, Megumin wallpaper available in the description. That's all you gotta know. This is Bluetooth. Devices, part 2? I don't know how to describe it even. Because at least when I do like a portable media player like the FiiO X7's coming up compared to the FiiO X5, it's like, all right, here's how the operating system works, here are the buttons, here's how... And Bluetooth is like, it's a very generalized subject, so everything on this table minus these things, we'll talk about why they're here, these are all Bluetooth receivers. Because let's face it, everyone's phone, including fucking mine, which is a Motorola Z2 Force, we don't get the pluggy plug that makes headphone go no more. No more. We get that. Because, you know, someone decided that that's going to take up too much space. There'll be like a hole here and then, you know... So, headphone plugs are gone. And I hate that fact, but at the same time, it sort of forces people to, like, look for these sorts of things, which... I'm going to say, looking at the table, 60% of these are better sounding than most phones. Period. Now, you can get something like the Oppo Ha2, which is a portable DAC amp. And you have to plug in the wire that loops around and goes into your phone. And then you can, you know, USB to USB, and then this becomes your DAC and amp. And this is a way better than any fucking phone. I don't care if it's shit what the LG V30 does. It ain't no Ha2. It didn't have the power, it doesn't have the quality, it doesn't. It just doesn't have it. But, if you've ever seen someone carrying around a phone with the wire that goes in there and it like sticks out and juts, it's like, So the way to deal with that is to go wireless. And that means going Bluetooth, essentially. Now, people have been scared of Bluetooth for a long time, and I stopped being scared of Bluetooth about less than 2 years ago. And it was all thanks to this little guy. The little Mpow. Look how it's scratched and beat up. I use these twice a week doing my Twitch streams. I plug this as a receiver into a pair of Schipp 9500s. May they rest in peace. And it works great. It sounds great. It's got great distance, got good volume. It's clear. This is like $30. I have all the tabs open for how much this stuff costs. So since that exists, and since I was like, oh, I'm going to plug this into my Mad Dogs, I'm going to do all sorts of good things, Bluetooth, because this is a Bluetooth receiver, which means it's taking a digital signal, and it's uncompressing it, and converting it to analog, which means it's a DAC, and then it's amplifying the signal with volume so that it can power headphones, which means it's an amp. So this little fucking thing is a Bluetooth receiver that converts to a DAC, and then it's an amp. So are all of these, and then is like this. This is the big one. This is the one I'm going to probably start with. FiiO Q5. People have been begging me get FiiO Q5. I took this to CanJam. That was like 6 months ago. And it's what I took. I literally just took this to CanJam. No wires. Nothing. No portable player with music on it. Like, well, they're just going to leave them over there. Just leave them over there. Powered up, blue light, oh my god, all the different colors of the rainbow, headphone output, balanced output, charge, no screen, rubberized back, it looks like leather, it's not, a wonderful knurled metal volume knob. Look at it, look at you scroll, oh yeah. Up top you get a line out, you got an optical or coaxial or line in, and then you get a bass boost and a high-low gain. And on this side, most important of all, next track, last track, play, pause, and pair. So basically, I have the FiiO X7 in there. It's a $600, you know, it's portable with a screen, it runs Android, it runs about 8 hours. And this has Bluetooth. It'll still hook up USB, it'll still do that. But none of these are, I'm not concerned with any of these hooking up with a wire. I'm done with wires. Everyone should be done with wires. Bluetooth sounds good enough now. So what I did was I paired it with my phone, which I'm not 100% sure if it's still going to pair with my phone. It may not. And one of the reasons I've been delaying this insane goddamn review. How do I do it? Bluetooth is what? It was hold. Something blinks. Oh god. Do. This is the big boy. This is where you take what's in this and then you expand it. Oh, also a battery. Keep in mind this is also a battery. This is a Bluetooth receiver, a DAC, an amp, and a battery in this little thing. Now this is all plastic. And that's important because when you think of like high quality things, you're like, oh, you want them made of metal. Well, FiiO, and these are the newest FiiOs, FiiO had a Bluetooth receiver and it was mostly metal. And it mostly failed because it was mostly metal. You need space. That's why this is a giant rubberized back. The Bluetooth receiver needs to not be behind metal. So that's what this is for. Now the only problem this gave me was that if I put it in my pocket and put that against my body and had something, my source, on the exact other side of my body, it would get a little broken up, even 3 feet. But it was very rare and very hard to accomplish. There have been other players that can fuck up way easier. Let's talk about the little guys first. Let's let that sit there. It's blinking. It wants to do its thing. Refresh that. So many things are paired with my phone right now. FiiO Q5. Boom. Pairing. That'll stop blinking. We've got an Astle & Kern. This thing. Look. Oh, it's plastic. Why would Astle & Kern? Again, plastic is good. Bluetooth signals carry through plastic. If they didn't, it would be real bad. We've got, this is the UBTR or the Delta BTR? What the hell are you? Let's see, there's you, there's you, there's you, there's you, there's the thing, there's the Blue Wave Get, there's that old Technica, Astle & Kern, oh my god. So yeah, like uTorrent, it's got that like weird U. I don't know what it means. The UBTR, and then there's the BTR3. So this one's $27, and this one is $70. So we're not talking about like very cheap. Like the little Mpow is 32 bucks, right? $29.99, and I'll stand by this being one of the greatest fucking little devices I've ever used. I need to get into FooBar. Because I had FLAC on my phone. FLAC on said phone. It's playing. Let's plug headphones. How's my volume? I love having a physical stopped volume. This is a physical stopped volume. There's no guessing, you just look at it. Put them on high gain, low gain, put it on high gain. Ah! Again, the erupts being demoed here. Oh. Pause. And see that right there, where I was able to just pick this up and pause? Or I want to play the next track. There's the next track. Pause again. This is like the benchmark standard right now. Let's talk about its closest competitor. iFi xDSD. Now, there was an iFi product that did Bluetooth a while back, and it had a weird glass window, and I couldn't figure out why it did, and it was because Bluetooth. But it was still a metal case. So they learned their lesson. This entire thing is plastic. The problem is, it's the worst plastic. Like, it's very shiny. Like, can you see how shiny that is? And as soon as anything touches it 3-4 times, if it's in your hand, it looks like you need to take it and return it to the store because it's that dirty. So bottom of it's got line-ins, so you can line in. Here's the standard iFi giant USB, so that you could use it for a on-the-go cable. You got your switch filter between measure and listen. You get a charge port for 5 volt, which is USB, and then there's nothing on the sides, and then you get to the top. There's your headphone out, which I believe this is also 3.5mm balanced. I believe. I don't have any wires to test that. No one has any wires to test that. So even if it is, it doesn't matter to 99.9% of the people who are watching this video. Then here's your button where you get to select if you want 3D or XBase or both. So it's got the magic buttons. Now let's turn this on. I think you hold this down. Yep. Comes on blue. That means it's in Bluetooth mode. It should connect to something. I don't know if it's going to connect to my phone with this doing it. How do we change that? Oh, this is gonna be a night. This is the nightmare episode of a bit more settings. I just wanted to connect so I could show you what the volume looks like. IFI, high quality, boom. Please work. All right. What is this missing? I just toured it for you. What is it missing? It's missing next, last, pause buttons. Next track, last track, pause button. It's got no controls. This has controls. This has controls. If you don't know what this is the XDO5 with a Bluetooth module on the back of it. They sell a Bluetooth module, which I cannot find. Someone's brakes are squeaking. So you get the xDO5, which is just a DAC amp, just like the Hot 2 is. And you could buy this, and it plugs in, and now it's a Bluetooth DAC amp. And it's got controls for next track and pause. Next, last track, pause. Next, last track, pause. Next, last track, pause. Next, last track, pause. I don't know if this actually will do next to last track pause. This might be the only other one on the table. But guess what? This is the Shanling M0. This is a portable full player, but you can use it as a Bluetooth receiver from your phone, so I'm putting it on the table. This is the only one here that you can't control the source. Now, if you're plugging it in with the USB, that's fine. You're just going to use you're going to swing this up and you're going to swing over to goddamn foobar. And you get next track, and you've got this big wire. But I'm only interested in a Bluetooth receiving portable DAC amp via the Bluetooth functionality of it. And this, I can just hit next track. And this, I can reach down here and hit next track, even though it's fucking backwards. That's power, that's next track, that's last track. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me why. It also has some issues. We'll get to it. I only have like 40 more minutes left on the recorder. The GoPro's gonna fill up, so let's get through things real quick. For testing today, at least for this, I'm hooked up to this Mpow sender, which is using fiber optics. So, not taking an analog signal from anything, taking a full digital signal, turning it into another type of digital signal, and sending it. Now, it's not HD, according to the web. I wish I would scroll through the tabs and not shift them around. I hate that Firefox broke everything. And I gotta minimize this. We're not getting enough wallpaper, so you're gonna get real bored. So it says it's Bluetooth 4.1. Oh, let me give you a little bit of advice. Bluetooth 5.0 is out, right? And everyone's jerking off 5.0. In fact, the Blue Wave Get is the only one on this table that actually is Bluetooth 5.0. That does nothing to do with audio. It's a misnomer. Bluetooth 4.2 is the highest revision you need to know about with audio. Bluetooth 5.0 just means you could do other weird latency things that have nothing to do with audio. So if you're looking at a product and going, man, why couldn't they make this 5.0? Because it doesn't have to be 5.0. It doesn't have to send files and do weird encryption shit. It just has to be for audio. So Bluetooth minimum 4.0, 4.1 like that is okay, and 4.2 is really what you want to look for. I don't know which ones of these are 4.2 right now. My brain, it's just my brain. Let me have this. Let me have this and get this done. So if this is the benchmark, other than it being the size of a little fucking brick, but you get to put your phone on, put your favorite music player on, put on Spotify, drop it in your back pocket, and then only deal with this. And just, you know, next track, pause, raise the volume with a beautiful analog volume control. No problem powering anything. Use the balance cable. I think I was wandering around with my Ether C flows. So let me talk about this also for a second, because this is going to come up also in the X7 review. One of the reasons that this thing is so fucking massive is this bottom bit here, which has a picture showing how the balance is. Like, look, balance is 11.5 millimeter. Is the bottom portion of it can be unscrewed and replaced. So this is a different amp module than this. No balanced, but a different working inside of it of how. And I'm gonna swap it out and try it. Probably when I do the X7 review, because when I do the X7 review, the FiiO X7, I'm gonna pull the Q5 out and say, why are you buying that for $650 when you can buy this for $350, and then just use your phone. Everyone's got a phone, and it's so much more convenient, and you don't have to have an Android device burning in your pocket. All right, so yeah, spoiler alerts on the X7 review. So it's nice. It comes with a beautiful screwdriver. Put that there. Leave you alone, DMS. Benchmark. This. If I could get it to connect, which is going to be a pain in the it's going to be a pain in the dick. It's going to be a pain in the, oh, there we go. It lit up at least. It does some cool stuff. I want it to connect. Hold. So it is connected to the FiiO. The IFI, it just isn't connecting to the IFI. Do. Not the Audeze Mobius. We're not there yet. Oh, jeez. Look at all these. All of these are nightmare level connected. Are we connected? Here, we got to play something. Hold on. There we go. All right. Unplug headphones from there. Plug headphones into here. So you get this awesome volume control, and it's an infinitely turning digital one. But the color indicates where it is. So blue is the lowest it goes. Keep going, and then that blue turns to purple, and that purple keeps going, and it turns to teal, and then the teal keeps going, and it turns to green, and the green keeps going, and it turns to yellow. Do you hear the headphones blasting? No, I don't either. Then you go to red, and we're at the top. Now these are taking it, and here's your extra bass, 3D effect, or both. And it jumps down. My problem, and I've tried this on many headphones, and these are just having an extra hard time, I haven't tried this particular combo, is you go through all those beautiful colors to tell you the volume, and you end up on red. You end up at like 90% volume for every headphone I plugged into it. Let's try something a little bit easier to drive. Let's see if it blows up. That's fine. I'm sure it's fine. So these are the M60Xs. Nope. Like yellow is like right there, and then red. So it's like, so that beautiful fucking thing where it's like, oh man, it's showing all the colors is useless if it's all going to be the same. I'm trying to pause that. I'm not pausing that. That's playing to this. That's hooked to this. This is why this review's been put off for like 6 months, because I wasn't sure how I was going to do this. I was going to start switching my phone around. So I love the power of this thing. It's an IFI product. You cannot go wrong for sound quality. Bluetooth, great. A little less range than the FiiO, even though this is mostly metal. This gets funky. This gets funky if you print it the wrong way in my pocket. It still gets funky. Like, I'm talking about on your person. If something doesn't work on your person, it's got some issues. So, sounds great. I love that there's still X bass and 3D or both. That's all you really need. But it doesn't have next and last track and play pause buttons. And I've been holding it for about, what, 3 minutes? And you could just see all of my fingerprint. It looks just, whoever picked this finish, no. This is a no. So sorry, IFI. As much as I love you, you guys do great work. This needs to come out again and not look like it's some retro chrome thing from the 70s. That's number one. And number two, you gotta give me the buttons. You gotta give me the buttons. There's no point. I mean, it won't work on the computer here, obviously, because it physically can't. But if I hook this to my phone, then that would be next track. No, that's next track. Even though it's upside down, it's it's mildly annoying. So now, okay, benchmark still. IFI, good try. approve of the way it sounds, but it's lacking. It just needs those buttons. It needs those buttons. It's nice and light. One of the lighter ones up here that are full size. So brick of metal, nice and light, but like this is a push down. They could do different functions with it, and it's just it won't change tracks. So let's swap out the xDuo. Now xDuo contacted me and they sent me. I'm like, hey, do you want to do a review for us? I'm like, sure. And before I could say, but I've already done that, they sent me the xDuo 5, and I'm like, but I already done that and I loved it. And they're like, oh, okay. And then I'm like, you know what? I have this shootout coming up with Bluetooth. Send me this. I saw it on their website, their Chinese website, and I don't even know if they sell it here. It's the model number X24002, and it's just a plastic Bluetooth module. So it's got a little texture, and it's all plastic, and it's got play, pause, power, a charge, which is specific for this. It will not pass through charge to that. So if you have this, you need to charge this, you need to pull this out to charge this, and it will not charge through this. That would have been cool if they made it do that. Here's your indicator for connection, and there's HD, which is not lit because that thing's not HD. And then here's your what should be last and next track, but it's next and last track, even though play pause is in this direction, and so that's fine. They're assuming it's this direction. Now, one of these, this one, is just here for security's sake. It sits into the auxiliary in and out. This doesn't run on auxiliary in and out. What makes this special is that is coaxial digital. That is the digital input that it plugs into. And you have to set the input on the unit to coaxial. So, like all of these little units, if you hook them up to something else, which we'll talk about, you're going to hook an analog, you're using the DACs in this. When you hook this up to this, you're using the DAC in this. By the way, I like my County Com sticker. I just thought it made it look cool. County Com, where I get my little flashlights from. So now you've got one of my favorite amps because fucking 1/4 inch, screen, triple inputs, bass boost, 3 levels of gain, and now it's got a Bluetooth receiver. And the Bluetooth receiver is amazing sounding because it's keeping it digital. It's coming into this digital, sending through this digital, hitting this digital, going into this, and then being decoded. It's not lossless because Bluetooth, the codec in general, is a lossy codec, but I'll be fucking damned if I could tell you that this is lossy. The issue with this thing is the same as the issue with this, only worse. I've had a few things I've connected this to, Bluetooth-wise, where I can't go. All right, so this is sending. Let's see how far we can walk through my apartment. Holding it up in the air. Still working just fine. She just stuttered. It's like All right, working. Ooh, working. Now, granted, we're pretty far away from it, but when I do my live streams twice a week, that sender module talks to this Mpow from my shower and outside that wall. So this has a couple range issues. If I hold it, it's still working. It's still working. It's still working. I'm amazed. Let's see. There you go. It's just breaking up, real, like, silence, basically. So, it's just not enough. It needs a bigger receive antenna. It's great for within 6 feet. If it's on your person and you're going from your phone to this, I think you'll be okay as long as you keep the orientation of this correct. I love the Tengu Topin Garen Lagan is playing on it. So, the module is a cool idea. I have no idea how much it costs. They just sent it to me. It's got to be less than $100, right? Let's hope it's less than $100. I love xDuo. I love this thing. So keeping it as a full DAC of this being used with the amp makes this a possibility if I could find where to buy it. The problem with it is it's the biggest thing on the table by a grave margin, like a lot. By like not a little bit. That thing is a truck. But it's got a 1/4 inch like output, and it's still one of my favorite like portable things. I have the lowest gain setting, by the way, and I could destroy these headphones. So that's an option. That's a benchmark. This needs more buttons. Let's talk about the little guys. The Mpow. If you don't believe me and you don't believe in Bluetooth and you think Bluetooth's going to sound like shit, buy one of these for $30. There's a switch. Transmit or receive. You could literally switch which ones. If you have two of them, you could set one to transmit and one to receive. Turn them both on. They'll go blink, 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 connect, and you could just make a wireless thing, anything you want. I'm going to put you over there for a second. The Blue Wave Get. I've also had this thing since CanJam. And it's got a couple issues that need to be worked out. And it's not just software. You can finally lock and hold it. It's ergonomics. It's very nice that it's small. All of these are nice that they're small. But small could be negative too. So we got the S-Link current here. It's got a nice clip on the back. It's got a power where you can lock the power so that you can keep things from turning it off. And it's got very, very easy to find positive and negative buttons, and then up and down, next to last track. So you feel this little ridge, and you go next, up, down, up, more or less. It's great. They've been doing their research on ergonomics. No problem with this thing. $100, by the way, because S-Link current, of course it is. Then you got the $70 one. I compared these two. This one was all right. I'd probably take the Mpow over the UBTR. Just, I mean, it is USB-C at least, but I don't know. It's just chintzier and smaller, and you can't remove the clip. And I frankly don't give a crap about the clip. This one, however, since it's $70, is actually it's like good. It's like legit. It's like on the money good. I'm gonna turn it on just so you can see the little FiiO logo blinks. You get a button to switch back and forth between two different units. The same with this. This also has a cycle between, and then you get just up and down. So you press it once to raise and lower the volume. So up, 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 up is volume. You press and hold, next track. Press and hold, last track. So it's very simple. Here's your 3.5mm. Again, they finally switched to USB-C. Comes with a permanent metal clip with a little lanyard hole, so you can at least hang it off something. This might be the one everyone buys from this review, because that's $350. That's a thing plus a thing. That's $350. Actually, is that $350? Yeah, it's expensive. This is $100, and while S-Link current is great, it doesn't blow my mind like it's an S-Link current. There's much name you are paying for with this. I do like the form factor, however. This thing, which I just flung, is heavier than the S-Link current because the back is metal. This is metal, and the outside and the back are metal, and this whole front is acrylic, so that it has very good range. Still not quite as good as this Mpow. It's like the benchmark for range. This thing, I'm okay with it. And then the Get. Let's go back to the Get. aptX HD. So this is one of the first ones that I've had that feature, like the full blown. And this thing sounds equal to this and the S-Link current. So these are sort of, this is like the cheap bunch over here. Still great, but like weird ergonomics. The problem with the Blue Wave Get is you get this clip, which can only be this direction. So you clip it, and then you can't, like, it doesn't function. Like, someone was like explaining how you're supposed to put it in, and I'm like, you got a actual fixed volume control. See, it's searching now, and so it doesn't just keep spinning like it kind of should. Like, I praise that feature on the FiiO here, but on this you get all the way down and all the way up, and it's so hard to just, like, right now it seems to be working great, but if you can get it, it's very hard to, like, it doesn't stick up enough to fine-tune your volume, and it pushes loud. So you're gonna get to a point where you're just trying to, like, do things, and then, oh, wait a second, you've been hitting the play pause button this whole time. Do you see where your finger has to be to actuate the fucking volume? Like, there's my thumb doing the thumb things. Oh yeah, my thumb is sexy, but my fingers are here, which is next track, last track, play pause. So now finally with the revision, it was literally unusable. I was gonna kill myself because you know how hard you can't like volume and then, but you just want to do this because the plug's in here. Actually, I'll plug you in. The plug is here, so you get this beautiful like length that just fits right in your hand, and you could like rock it out, and you're just like, yeah, volume up. Oh, I've hit the play pause button. So you could finally lock that and hold it, but holding it means you don't have direct access to a play pause, which when I'm walking around, I don't know about you, if I'm outside and I'm interacting with the like nature, but I've got headphones on, if I go into a store, I just want to hit pause and then pull my headphones off, and it's just like, hey, how you doing? You don't hear 10 hours of lolly breathing, soft lolly breathing blasting out of my headphones. So you've got to, the fact that you have to unlock it by holding these two and then do the, it's like, it was so close. It just needs to not have that button. Literally, you cannot pick this up, and if I tell you to adjust that knob, you're just going to press that button, which is also the power on off button. So if you press it long enough, you shut it off. Sounds incredible though. For something so small, as like a proof of concept for aptX, I wish that this would flip around. You can't only flip this side or that side. I would put it right in front of the buttons, so I just can't hit it. I'd rather have no buttons. So close to winning. Now this thing, I'm going to turn this on for you because this was sent to me by a user and he wants to know how it works. This thing blew my mind, and I'm going to talk about it now. I'm going to talk about it in its own review with its other players. So, like the smallest player, like how small is the smallest player? Like it's so small, so fucking small. And this will output Bluetooth to speakers, and you can set it to receive Bluetooth from your phone. So then you can have Spotify on your phone. This becomes a little portable DAC amp. It becomes any one of these. Issue is, how many buttons do you see, Zeos? 1. And it's the screen on and then rotate for volume. There's no, you have to double click for next, which is not the worst thing, but you don't have a full complement of buttons. So it's not as good as anything that has just a full complement of buttons, or even just 2 buttons. This has play pause here, up and down volume, and then you hold for next track. And this doesn't. But this is still an amazing little fucking unit because it's a portable player with an SD card and it charges and it, you know, it can hold all sorts of shit, and then can also sit amongst this table and become a Bluetooth thing. Now, let's talk about this side of the table, because these right now are the 3 options I think you have if you are serious about music and going out. You got the brick, you got the old standard, and you got the sort of new kid that's missing some features. Possibly sounds the best. I just trust IFI's internals. I just don't like their ergonomics, and this particular unit is just stop, iffy, stop. So, what if you're this serious, but you don't want to fucking spend? So now we've got, well, I've got my old Oppo Hot 2. What if I did this? I mean, it wouldn't bang around like that. I'd use Bluetack. By the way, Bluetack, officially not sponsoring Zeos Pantera's reviews, but oh God, I love this stuff. Let's take out a big friggin' wad of it. Give me a big wad of Bluetack. And I also have White Tack, which is made by someone else. That's made by Loctite. This is made by the Duck company that makes duct tape. And like the point of this exercise is that any one of these receivers, players, portables, if you want to make it a Bluetooth player, you buy a JDS Labs wire. By the way, this is the JDS Labs wire. And remember the wire I was like jerking off about from FiiO? Here's that FiiO wire, and here's the JDS wire. It's even smaller. So you'd go and you'd plop a big plop of Bluetack on the back of your portable amp. And this is the OWN B1, which is a Class A amplifier. And then you would go, I want to do this, and I want to do this. I now have a portable Class A Bluetooth DAC amp. Here's the FiiO A5. Probably one of the most powerful portable amps that I've ever owned. Still to this day, do the same thing. Stick this FiiO onto this. I had this before I knew they made this. I had this FiiO receiver blue tacked to this with one of these little jumpers, and it worked better than it does with the fucking FiiO unit. Even if this is using the coaxial, the DAC, this is a $70 receiver. It's got a good DAC. You set the volume on it. I set analog, boom, 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 boom. You can take the B1, what is this? The damn Little Bear B4. Tubes. And you could stick the fucking thing. Are you ready? Bluetooth tubes. So all of these, anything you have that's, I bought some little shitty cheap ones that I was gonna review. Let go. I don't even know what these are called. I unboxed them, they had cool wires. This is a Neotech hi-fi headphone amplifier and an Abtech. And they're just little baby portable amps. They were like $20 each, $25 each. I'm gonna give them a little rundown. And they're good enough. They're better than most phones as far as power goes. And you just blue tack a damn Bluetooth receiver on the blue. I guess you'd want to use blue tack for Bluetooth receiver. Yeah, that's what we go with. Even if you wanted to put the Aston Kern on something, you could. It won't look as pretty. But I mean, look, there you go. Oh, there. I mean, that's ugly as sin. Don't do that. That one's terrible. But the point is, you know, this is a legitimate Class A portable with gain controls, and you still have the ability to next track, last track, pause. And you don't have to use the short little baby cables. Usually they come with, I know my Chromecast came with this bright bastard. Or you can get little right angles. I forget who makes this. Who sent me this? This one's beast mode. If one of these doesn't suit your needs, if $350 is too much money, then you spend 30 and 100, or 30 and 100, or 30 and 100, or 70 if you want to get real crazy. 70, and you can get probably the Oppo Hot 2 for, I don't know how much it runs for now. And just there you go. I've got it. I've got everything that these can do. Actually, more than that one can do. I've got one here, I got one here, I got one there, and I got one here. Just boom. I've just made all these portable amps, which the amps are always cheaper because there's no DACs. Just an amp, just an amp, just an amp. That's a DAC amp, but it's lacking in Bluetooth, and now it's not. Now it's completely fine. It's lacking in balance, which only you're going to get from this one and this one, but that one's 3.5mm, doesn't even count. But that one, but then this is still the most powerful, although I think if I put these two in a fight, it'd be real close. That's how much I respect the A5's amplifier. So basically what I'm saying is, this is interesting but huge, and this could be better. This is interesting and amazing sounding, but lacking in some buttons, and I hate the finish. Hate those fingerprint, oh. If you're plugging it in, then why would you get this and not one of their other ones, the micro? This actually is the best form factor so far from them, by the way. They've sent a lot of, like, the little, like, the nanos are still thick. They're like an inch high. They're like that much higher than this. So this is you're getting there, IFI. I like the shape, like the actual thickness and the length and the width. It fits. It would work if you mounted it to a phone. That would kind of work. But this is not the right one. This is not the finalized product. If you're gonna spend the money, you don't want to go and Frankenstein something cool together because you're not cool. FiiO Q5, period. I have no issues with it. I have no issues with it other than it's heavy and it's metal. I mean, the metal doesn't even affect the Bluetooth range that badly. It's a little bit off, but it's not like on your person it's fine. On your person this gets weird, and that doesn't even have metal. It's just the fact that you can next track, last track, you got your charge buttons, you can change the amp. I saw one of these on Amazon with a 4.4mm if you wanted to go with the Sony Pentacon connector. You can just change the amp out for that. Does DSD, but that's only if you wire it up. Power button. This is so much nicer than the fucking X7. Wait till I get to the... I'm going to get to the review where the X7's here. I'm going to pull this out and go, don't buy that. Buy this. It's half the price and better. Because it gives you your phone as your source, and then boom. So, of these, that's what I choose. Now, of the little guys, the Shanling M0, I have to get a little more in-depth on it. So, hold off for that if you're just looking for a Bluetooth receiver. That's just amazing that it can do it, and I had to show it off. The Blue Wave Get. If you can get around the actual little fuckeries with the where the volume is like a little hard to feel, and it jumps, like literally like that's halfway volume and that's all the way volume, and it's like so you got to be prepared for that. There's no high-low gain. If there was a high-low gain, it might be more manageable, but you got to be real precise with this volume control. Like real precise, like way more precise than you think you can be. I know it's still looking. I'm going to shut that off now. Update the firmware on it. Make sure you can lock out this key and then it won't bother you as badly. Sounds the best of all the little baby ones. Except I'd have it fight the BTR3. This little FiiO impresses me. It's the one I choose. It's the one if I wasn't using these just for like plugging into my headphones, because this headphone thing is on top and not on the side like this, I can't just plug it into my Schipp 9500s. So for something like this, like what you're looking at here, which is, by the way, this is probably, there's a small animal snap. Oh, but spine of a small animal. I remember what I said. Full batteries, green, bass boost, gain on high. Oh, I'm gonna hook this up. As soon as this review is done, I'm turning this one on. We could warm up some tubes, because since this is a tube amp anyway and you're getting a little distortion, I can use a cheaper one if I want to. And then the Aslan Kern, which is very, very good. It's just, you know, I like the Aslan Kern. I like that it's the smallest one with a balanced output. Look, it's got a 4-pole balanced baby 2.5 mm. It's $100. If you want to try balance on the go, by all means. Just because it's an Aslan Kern doesn't mean it's a ripoff. It's just, it's $100. And if you're gonna go balanced, you may as well just go with something like this, because that's what you want. I think I'm done talking about these things. My desk, I feel like I've shown you these things. We've discussed some of their ergonomic problems, lack of control, lack of range, and just overall girth. Sometimes girth is a problem, ladies. I know all about it. But I think I would go Frankenstein, honestly, with this. I would just spend $70 on one of these, and if it doesn't power your headphones and anything you want to your satisfaction, and if you're using portables like the M60s, it's gonna work fine. But you know, these are not portable, and those are not portable, and those are not portable. There's a couple things up there are not considered portable, but I've taken them out because I'm a lunatic. And if you buy one of these, and it's this little FiiO, specifically the 3, is good enough that I would pretty much like blind test people on it compared to plugging in directly to an amp. If this isn't enough, you go out and you buy any fucking amplifier you want. A5 is most power. This is Class A, and that sounds like it should make it impressive, but it's actually a very weak amp, but it's very clean low down. Shut that off. Click, click. And then, of course, if you just want to go nuts and you've got a little baby tubes, just go little baby tubes. Little bare baby tube. So these are your options. I'm okay with Bluetooth, and I'm okay with wireless. Like wireless headphones, I got there. Those are the Odyssey Mobius. Probably some of the best Bluetooth headphones I've ever heard. As long as you have all the technology turned off, they're great. And then you got a couple over here. This is a better option, because this means, any of these mean, you don't have to get a Bluetooth headphone. You could just get a headphone and then make a Bluetooth. And I think that's all we're going to talk about for today. I will link an ungodly amount of stuff in the description. Just ungodly. And you're going to have to sort through it, and when you get to the very bottom of all the things you can buy, will be the wallpaper of Megumin. Isn't she lovely? Yes. Isn't she lovely? And I'll link to blue tack too, because blue tack is bae. And I'll link to the white stuff as well, because frankly I've been using blue tack on certain things and you could see it, and it's like if that was just white, I'd be so much happier. They should make black tack. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Here. Let's run a test. I should end this video, but I'm being Zeos right now. Hold on. Perfection. Perfection has been achieved. All right, everybody. I will catch you in the next one, and the next long one, which I talk about players and nightmares. If you'd like to support videos like this, I've bought probably half the stuff on this table. Like these were sent, but I bought that. That was sent. That I got at the show. I bought that. Bought that. Bought that. This is sent by a person. Bought that. Buying these. So support me on Patreon, upper right hand corner, and possibly some of this stuff will end up in the yard sale. The yard sale, $5 a month. You get to bid on things that I don't need, possibly. So yeah, chill, listen to music. Bluetooth ain't so bad. Try it yourself.